marketing, entrepreneurship, and all things small business. You're listening to the Jurassic Marketing's Triceratops. Now, here's your host, Justin Miller.
All right, it's been a long break.
It has.
It's been a long, unintentional break.
Some technical difficulties, some just life happens.
Yeah, I mean, we had, I think we had like a 6-week gap in publishing, which is the biggest we've had in
Yeah, that's a long time.
maybe years. But we're back.
7 years.
Yes, 7 years of recording this. I looked up the stats. If you're on my email list, you got an email a while back.
Mm-hmm.
7 years, 100 episodes. Roughly, we should have done this monthly instead of weekly.
That's true.
And we were there. But we got there, and it's gotten a lot better since the beginning.
Just looking at those, like in the email, I was like, wow, look at us. We're like sitting there, and then like it really is better. I mean, this is a nice setup.
I mean, some of it's the same.
Yeah.
Not much,
Yeah.
but some. The concept's still the same. It's just executed a lot better.
I mean, wardrobe is much better.
Yeah.
I have.
We didn't even have the dinosaurs back then. It was
No,
Profit
that's
911.
true. That's true. That was before you had a big dino idea.
But yeah, we are going back in the Wayback Machine this episode to something that kind of intersects my previous business life and current business life. We're talking about Columbia House. It's in the news again, Kevin.
Really?
Yep, it came across my desk that Columbia House is in the news.
Are they coming back?
Well, unfortunately, they're shutting down.
What do you mean? They're still a thing? Are you kidding me? Seriously? That's still a thing?
So I didn't believe it either. I went and checked out the website, and apparently they sell DVDs now.
Oh, well then.
So it's like $9.95 a DVD.
Even that seems a little dated now.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix stopped the DVDs a while back.
Yeah.
But they're hanging on. And I realized that some of the listeners aren't going to know what the heck Columbia House is. But essentially, they were a mail order gigantic Goliath in the industry. And the whole concept, they were big. They go way beyond that, but they were big in the 80s or 90s with the offer of 12 CDs or cassettes for a penny.
Yeah.
Was their one that stuck.
And then the print that you couldn't even read was like, then you must be required to buy one ad a month, but for the next 2 years at $9.90, whatever it was. So now when you first got into it, was it cassettes or was it CDs?
It was CDs.
See, I was cassettes.
Yeah. I think there might have still been some ads mixed between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the first big batch of CDs I got.
Oh, and I remember getting mine, and I was like, because I would always my mom would always be like, go get the mail. And I'd be like, come, I had the box, and she's like, what is that? Why did you get mail? I'm like, Mom, it's from Columbia House. I do remember, I was probably 15 or 16.
Yeah. Well,
huge deal.
I didn't realize it, but it's 71st year in business.
What did they sell?
So they started with records.
They sold
actual records.
Like Glenn Miller records?
Yeah, it must have been.
71, so that would be...
I mean, I could probably
that'd be
name...
the 50s, right? Maybe like the early 50s.
I could probably name like half of the CDs I got off the initial offer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think at the time I did that, like the Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack.
Sure. Yeah.
TLC.
Oh, gosh.
It might have been Boys to Men in there.
Yeah.
And that was really timed with the beginning of my DJ business as well. So, we were getting the slow jams for the junior high kids. But now I know what everyone's thinking. The same thing we did. It's like, what? They're still around?
Yeah.
Just like direct mail. What? It still works. So be careful with the parallel here and saying, Columbia House is dead. That means, all direct mail and mail order is dead as well. Yeah. Gotta hold the phone on that. We're not there yet. But there are some good lessons we're going to cover in this episode. And number one, it didn't fail just because direct mail stopped working, Obviously, they had.
I don't think the direct mail component was probably the problem there. I don't think that's the problem.
Yeah, but for decades, I mean, they were absolutely huge. And I guess we can go into the scam a little bit. It's not really a scam, but the business model.
If today, when you open up your little mailer flyer and it's got Subway coupons and home repair stuff, it used to have a flyer for Columbia House. It would be like, get all these for 1 penny, and you'd go through and pick all your favorites and then you're right. Then you had, I don't even remember how long. Well, you have to buy like another
I think you
10.
only had to buy a couple, honestly, at full price. So, yeah, the deal was, you get your penny ones, and then you had to buy a couple at full price. Full price was more than they would cost in the store.
But you still made
and
out
then
okay.
Every month, you remember this? Every month they sent one.
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
based on your music taste.
Yeah.
No obligation to buy it. You could send it back with refuse return to sender. But if you didn't, you paying for that.
You got charged for it. That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, so it was a continuity subscription, really, is what it was.
Yeah.
And then, you couldn't cancel until you bought a certain amount or accepted a certain amount.
Yeah, but I was also, and I don't remember if I was in college, I opened up subscriptions at both of my grandparents' houses.
Oh yeah. And
so then I got all the things I needed. It was probably when I first started my DJ business too in college. I was like, I need these 32 CDs. So I'm going grandma and grandpa, and then it's gonna come to your house. You don't have to open it. It'll be fine. It's no problem.
Well, and they had a competitor too. BMG Music did the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. At its peak, 16 million active subscribers.
That's a lot when you think about it. That's a lot
of CDs.
It's a lot of kids.
1.4 billion in annual revenue. I mean, absolutely crazy.
Massive.
And there's a documentary about this somewhere. I think it might just be online on like YouTube or something. But it's quite interesting. Like the business model itself, actually, they were allowed to press their own CDs. And they didn't have to pay.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they didn't have to pay the artist like everyone else did. So they had a sweet deal.
How the hell did they get away with that?
They didn't really pay
anything. How did they get away with that?
Yeah, they didn't pay anything, and they had hundreds of millions of dollars in marketing budget.
The cassette tapes also were evidently cheap because I noticed that if I played them enough, they would eventually stretch or get thin, and that's why I eventually moved to CDs because it was a little more expensive, but they lasted more. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, the goal
cassette
was get it out as cheaply as possible.
Yeah, I mean, they were cheap, and it just is what it is. But
yeah, the CDs served their purpose for sure.
Yeah.
I think you threw my CDs away I got from Columbia House.
Probably. Yeah. I probably digitized those and I said, you're out.
But direct to consumer was their game.
Well, and so why do you think they're closing? Because people don't want to buy DVDs?
Yeah, this is just the format.
I can't sell you a stream.
For sure, they're a victim of the format.
Yeah, I can't sell you a stream.
Yeah, so they went from records and LPs to cassette. I don't know if they
did they ever do laser discs, I wonder?
I doubt it. It's too expensive to get the equipment to produce them.
That's true.
Over to CD, and apparently at some point switched to DVDs.
Interesting.
Which
I did not know
I found interesting when I looked that up today because I'm like, no, they can't be selling enough CDs. Did they go back to records? Because records are like in again. No, they went to DVDs.
Yeah. See, now that you're right. The record thing is my 25-year-old's got a record player and she acts like it's like vintage.
Yeah, so maybe they're just wrapping this thing all up and they're going to relaunch with the records again. Who knows?
They could be. I would have thought the thing died in like 2005. I didn't know that. Wow.
I mean, it might have for the most part.
Well, that's true.
I don't know what the latest
sales
numbers
were
are.
not exactly the gajillion billion. Yeah,
I will say that the DVDs on the homepage as of today, which they'll probably be down within the time this publishes because the announcement's already there, but a lot of them weren't things I'd ever heard of before.
Oh, yeah. So that's not even good. Were they like Bollywood movies?
There was like a lot of like horror movie slasher type stuff. Right. Yeah. I mean, they might have found a niche audience that it was still kind of hanging on by a thread.
No Disney classics.
No.
Okay. All right.
Disney says, no, you ain't copying our stuff.
No, you're not doing that.
We're going to stream that. So let's talk about the direct response lessons though. The trip down memory lane is awesome though, because this was a huge part of my childhood.
Well, it was like this irresistible thing, and in a way, because your friends probably had it, it's irresistible, and it also like put you in with the cool kids.
Yeah, and I was a kid at the time.
Sure.
13 years old or something signing up for this. I couldn't even legally sign up for it.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, and the response mechanism in the mail, if you remember, was like stamps.
Yeah.
So they had perforated stamps of the album art, and you'd
stick
tear them out and you stick the free ones on.
I do remember that. Yeah. That was
so
wow. Like now, you're right. Talk about memory lane. I haven't like sweating over. You had like 2 left. Like, which one am I going to pick? I've only got 2 left, Mom. Which do you like? This? She's like, I never heard any of that stuff. That's awful. That music you listen to is awful. Well, Mom, I didn't ask that.
But that interactive piece was important, like as a response mechanism. Sure. So in our newsletters, oftentimes we'll have a crossword or a Sudoku or something like you physically interact with the piece.
Yeah.
And that's the equivalent of the Columbia House, licking the stick stamp on there, which is that's a dated reference on its own.
Really,
now.
you should.
They were self-adhesive.
I know. Then you get all sticky, and you got to lick it like a stamp. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the number one lesson to take away is the whole thing was built off of an irresistible offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's 12, and I wonder if it was always 12. I remember 12.
I do. Yeah.
12 CDs for a penny.
Yeah. Yeah, they made their money on the back end.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Especially if they and I got caught many times. I'm like, and like go to school and be like, hey, do you like insert artist that I forgot to send back and now I had to pay for it?
Yeah, and they weren't cheap when you paid for the
No, they were way too expensive. You couldn't like recoup your money by selling to somebody. They were way more expensive than at like the record store, like at the mall, record store at the mall. Go look that up. But I mean, yeah, I learned fast though to like pay attention to either send it back or
get them
keep
returned.
It. Yeah, it didn't take much more than a couple to be like, wait a minute, that's $14.99 out of my pocketbook.
Yeah. So I mean, they lost money obviously on the front end. They had to advertise to you and they had to fulfill on that promise.
Yeah.
We'll ignore the fact they were paying pennies to produce the CDs,
Sure.
but they still lost money. Irresistible. You couldn't ignore this. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, every direct mail piece like Valpak or inserted in the ads on ad circulars in the newspaper, like it was everywhere. And then they had counterparts like Time Life collections on TV and whatnot.
Oh, the Christmas Time Life ones. Yes, I still have those.
That filled in my DJ library too, the different Time Life collections for sure.
Wow.
But the offer is so simple that you can understand it instantly.
Yeah.
And,
there's no, you don't have to think about it.
And people make their offerings so complex. My world is pretty complex with regulation and stuff. And we try to strip down our core offerings to this easy to understand and most impactful and likely to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I talk about like 3 over and over. I got 3 of them that fit that category. You can kind of get it. You may not agree with me on a couple, so we got 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the physical interactions, another thing. We talked about licking the stamps. Also just the album art. So when you receive the product, and this is another lost reference that we lost with music going digital, is going through and flipping through the booklet.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience made the delivery of the product fun. Because when it came with the little invoice, it wasn't fun. But looking through that and listening to the music was an actual experience.
Yeah.
And people would listen to the 60, 70-minute CD, which is completely different than what they do now with music. So you look through, pick the ones you want. I think at one point they might have gone to offer codes, or maybe it was BMG where you put the number in there rather
that
than
might
the sticker.
be. I don't know if I ever subscribed to BMG because I was kind of like locked in. Well, I mean, I was at, I think at one point I had 3 subscriptions until I decided that was ridiculous. Because if I didn't get to grandma's house on a regular basis, like if I skipped a week of mowing the grass, then I got stuck with a Janet Jackson cassette that I didn't want.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I hope people are hearing between the lines here that didn't experience this is that 30 years later, we can vividly remember the physical experience of the Columbia House brand and deliverables and the offer and response. And that's just something that is incredibly difficult to replicate in digital media. Like almost impossible.
Because there's not maybe it was the tangible, like it arrived at the house. I could touch it.
Even to create the emotional impact of that.
But you're right. You were excited because they kind of would come around this. Like if you got yourself on the schedule, you could kind of estimate when the new one would arrive. Like I ordered this. It's coming probably this week. It was a big deal to be able to, you're like, oh, this music I wanted is coming and it's here. And
yeah, because I'm trying to think of things in the online world that have had the same impression that I can remember 30 years later. And I can remember some of the initial websites I built and offerings.
Okay.
I can remember a couple of the humor sites from like I would call the first few years that the internet was mainstream. And then I have a blur.
Okay.
And then I have like some recent stuff.
Yeah. Although I think and maybe there was a ton of like back in the day, everything was print, everything was direct mail or whatever. It just seems like with digital, there's just more stuff. It's so impossible to keep track of everything. There's just so much more. I'm sure there was a ton of junk mail that we don't remember because it wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're right. It was because there was a mechanic to it. Like there was fun in the picking of the music. There was fun in the non-picking of the music, arguing with your friends about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you and I we liked music, but this was way mainstream beyond
oh sure,
DJ.
It was a way to supply yourself with music without having to go to the store, and
you'd still be at the store every week buying music.
Exactly, yeah, you still would go.
The kind of third lesson here is physically in the home, and that's another reason it's impactful. So once you had the catalog of the albums, which it was a little mini catalog. It's not like, other than BMG Music, which was probably significantly smaller than Columbia House, it's not like there was something else in the environment competing for your attention.
No.
In that category, at least.
Yeah.
You can sit around, you can look at it, other people see it when it's left out. You could come back to it later. You didn't have to do it immediately.
Yep.
There's tremendous value in that sit around and staying factor, or pass along value is what we call it if we hand it to someone else. I don't know if people passed along the Columbia House because it was everywhere. It was like the AOL CDs. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
But the value of being in the house is huge in someone's physical space. And you'll hear Dan Kennedy talk about that a lot. It's one of the reasons books are a great marketing tool. They sit around, take up physical space.
Mm-hmm.
So you asked kind of what I thought killed it. I think it's format, but
it has to be.
It's not the mailbox. I think it's just the product category disappeared on them.
Well, that's why I wonder. You're right. If they could make a comeback with retro vinyl for all the, but I don't know if there's enough kids like my 25-year-old who thinks paying $22 for an album is worth it.
Well, they probably could make it work if they could swing the same licensing deal they had before. I don't think they'll.
Which I don't know how the hell they would, because record labels are notoriously greedy.
I'm gonna say right now, streaming has the almost free music.
Yeah.
I don't think artists like streaming. So,
well, maybe there'd be a case where if they could do vinyl for slightly higher, structure. But no, I mean, you're right.
Competing against Walmart, which is tough.
Well, I mean, it is tough. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, if you think about music, we went from cassettes. Well, we went from records first.
I wondered, Columbia House probably did 8 tracks at one point.
I don't know. I was thinking about that when we kind of went through the format.
Had a 1976 Grand Prix, and the damn thing had an 8-track player in it. And I was, for some reason, I bought 8 tracks at the pawn shop, and one of them was AC/DC's Highway to Hell, and in the title track, that song, it stopped and went to the next, it had to so right in the middle of the damn song, but it's I'm like, Dad, you need to get rid of this stereo thing, and he couldn't. He's like, I don't even listen to these 8 tracks, but yeah, he had a damn 8-track in his car.
I'm sure that was an expensive option.
Oh, I know. But I imagine they probably, because for a while, 8 tracks were like a thing for about a 5 or 6 year window.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they were quick to adapt format changes. Just like you and I were talking, the crossover from cassette to CD.
Yeah.
I think there was overlap. And at the point I came in, not everyone was on CDs, but it was certainly mainstream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the media switched to where people just don't have digital copy or physical copies.
You don't have to replicate your library. Even when iTunes first came out, you had to buy stuff. Now, for $14.97 a month or whatever, I have everything.
Although I do get annoyed when I'll look up a soundtrack or something and there's grayed out titles you can't get.
That's less common than it used to be, but it is. Yeah.
And that the version they put here was not the version that used to be there.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's not quite the same. So obsolete for music media, but everyone's still got mailboxes.
True.
Don't need 12 CDs in it.
No, that box usually got set next to the front door because
I mean, I've sold the box of CDs of information product before. I had a 40 disc kit of essentially everything I did in the event world.
Like you could do your own Columbia House, all your greatest hits, and get to stamp out and I want this one.
I should have replicated the stamp part. I didn't even think of it.
That's actually a great idea. Yeah.
But you got to take a look at your service too. If the service category is dying, and yes, this is coming from a dinosaur in direct mail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm well aware that the overall trend is downward on mail. But I probably don't need to hang out as long as Columbia House did either.
Yes, that's true.
All right, so let's talk about some of the things they had to fight, though.
Okay.
Number one, we're talking now about the physical environment is not busy. The online one is.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? The mailbox was busy when Columbia House was competing in it.
Totally.
There was plenty of advertising in the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not as much as the email box is.
No.
Like, you didn't get hundreds of letters a day, but you got a lot of stuff back then. And now, mailbox is empty.
It is relatively empty.
Yeah.
At this time of year, or this time in the election, a lot of election crap. My mailbox is almost exclusively vote for me, don't or don't vote for them. It's like I did a lot of recycling this week. I'm like, gone. But yeah, that's politics. One of the last bastions of direct mail.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
It's a huge one because they know exactly what district they have to get votes from. It makes
True.
The list is easy for them, right?
Yeah.
And there's registered voters on both sides that they can pick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the less and less busy makes it easier to stand out. It's a novelty. That's where the whole dinosaur thing came from. It's a novelty, and it works.
Yeah, people care. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because I'm older and I still like looking at my mail because every once in a while there's something interesting. It's very rare.
Check it because eventually there's a bill there that has to be paid. But.
Yeah, yeah. That's unfortunately because they can, if they're all automated,
which is funny. My bills sit in the pile that sits longer, and my junk mail gets looked at quicker.
Yeah.
Might be an exception there, but yeah. So it's unusual. It's interesting if you can make it interesting. Yeah, and that's sometimes what it boils down to. All right, so let's tie this all back to small business because there are lessons in Columbia House. We can't replicate Columbia House. It was a $1 billion business, right? But we can certainly steal parts of it. Number one, the strategy. Make sure you have an offer worth noticing. 12 CDs for a penny or 12 cassettes for a penny. It was worth noticing. You know, you still either had interest or you didn't, but it was pretty common. Like, this is the opposite of what I see sometimes. And I'm sad to say I saw a print mail card go out of our shop that we only printed and mailed. We didn't advise. We weren't their agency. But it was pretty much, hey, we're changing our name. We've been around for X years and we're now known as blah, blah, blah. And here's what we do. Great.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope that the list cared about that. There was like no call to action, no offer. Certainly nothing worth noticing unless you had a vested interest in the company.
Yeah.
Number two, get something in your prospect or client's physical world. You know, it could take several different forms, you know, newsletter, postcard, letter, invitation, greeting card, lumpy mail, shock and awe package, welcome package, all of them. As an aside, I just reworked our new client welcome package.
All right.
Which historically is, man, I hope new clients don't listen to this, but a Chocosaur was the main piece. There was a lot of stuff around it, but the main piece was a locally produced Chocosaur from a local chocolatier. Doesn't matter how many ice packs we put with it, some of them melt.
Yeah.
Enough that now I have invented the Summer Soar package.
Oh.
Which is automated and for 6 months of the year will take over. So
okay.
There you go.
Minus things that will melt.
Nothing should melt.
Nothing should melt.
If it does, it was on fire.
All right.
Third lesson. Build something you own. What do I mean here? Yep. Columbia House had their list, and they understood the value of that direct relationship with the customer. And that's the hardest thing to replicate or steal.
I wonder if they sold that to other people.
Oh.
You imagine they did. You may not have known it, but I'm like, what other crap did I get around that time that was not memorable, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, they would have a prime for the pickin' direct response.
Crazy good.
Consumer that does mail order.
Here's 16 million people that might want to buy your stuff.
But was it worth it to them? I don't know. These are things we may never know unless someone has that information and lets us know. But yeah, there was like no algorithm between them and their consumer. Like, okay, these
direct
are the people. Yeah,
couldn't be more direct.
Number 4, combine mail with modern technology.
Oh yeah.
Modern was different when they started.
Yeah.
But you can use mail to drive people online, to the website, to a webinar, to a video sales letter, to order, if appropriate. So online and offline don't have to exist in isolation. They can work together. And oftentimes you're best advised to have direct mail work hand in hand with online media. It's like 1 + 1 is 3 type of deal. They lift each other. As long as we keep people away from Google, once they respond online, that works fine. All right, so we got like 4 or 5 lessons here, and we got a lot of reminiscing around Columbia House. We have a long episode this time.
It's a throwback.
It was a fun trip down memory lane.
It really was. I haven't thought about that in years.
Yeah, but Columbia House going bye-bye. I don't know. Someone might buy the name. I doubt it. Someone might buy the list. I don't know.
That list, half of them are dead.
Yeah. Here's the people that were still subscribing to DVDs.
That's crazy.
So don't learn the wrong lesson. It's not that direct mail is dead. You know, for decades and decades, they were a shining example of a compelling offer direct to consumer in someone's home that built $1.5 billion business.
It's impressive, actually. And to look back at it later, I'm like, that is.
Yep.
But it's just like do the same thing over and over and over again a billion times.
Yeah. I mean, the product category just evaporated.
Well, the thing about them, though, is that it wasn't like the DVD thing. Now, every cool artist was available. You could get everything. It wasn't good. Like, oh, half of what I want, I got to go to Co-op Records for. They had everything. Everything you wanted.
Yeah.
Way more than you needed.
People will never know the feeling of having to drive to 4 stores to find a CD.
That's true. On release day, no less. Yeah.
Every Saturday.
Yeah.
As a DJ.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they proved it out. You know, how powerful a direct response offer, irresistible offer to the right audience and giving people something they want.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's what it is. 71 years they made it. That's a good run for any business.
That's a long time. That's a lot of.
I'd be curious the financials at the end.
I was going to say, where did they advertise in the last 20? I not heard.
Yeah, hopefully they stripped it back far enough that they weren't really like
they were still making money.
They just weren't making enough to make.
I mean, like I haven't heard of it. Yeah, now I'm gonna do a little research. I want to find out when they stopped selling music. I'll lay the story of Columbia, like a behind the music.
You need to find the documentary online. Just YouTube. I'm sure you'll find it. I think it was multiple parts, and it's old. Yeah. And it was probably like VHS camcorder footage of someone I think that was interning in the office.
Okay.
And it's the politics of the big company, and it's really interesting if you have an interest in the subject matter. If not, we're going to talk more about losing money next week on our episode.
Yes.
Next episode, we're talking about your post office.
Speaking of losing money.
Losing $2.5 billion last quarter.
I mean, that's just in the quarter?
Yeah, it's a quarter. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And what it means to you and to me.
No, I can tell you what that means.
I'm kind of married to the post office. So.
You are. You kind of got a love-hate relationship with those people.
Like, subscribe, share. Give us ideas. If you want to be a guest, reach out. We're looking for guests next month. Just email me and we'll get you on.
Thanks for listening to the Triceratops podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave your comments. For more information on how Jurassic Marketing Direct Mail can help grow your business, visit JurassicMarketing.com.